Oh, my fit journey started a long time ago when I was recovering from a hip rebuild surgery. And during physical therapy, I realized that I was capable of building muscle. At that point, the gym and the weights became my bitch, and my goal was to just build muscle. In the beginning, I went from 175 pounds to 125 pounds, and let me tell you, at 125, I wasn't very muscly, but I was definitely, yay, finally skinny. All those years when I was younger and I thought, skinny is the goal, skinny is the goal. If you're skinny, the boys will like you. If you're skinny, then you'll have, this. And people will think you're blah 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 bullshit. Yeah, no, that all changed. I wanted to build muscle, and even though I heard it from the boys, I heard it from my brother. He's like, boys don't like girls with muscles, and I was like, I'm doing this for the boys. No, I was getting over the whole boy thing. Not that, just saying at a certain point in your life, you gotta start doing things for yourself, not because you want to attract other people to you. I jumped on the bodybuilding bandwagon and my diet changed. All of a sudden it was just like, yeah, I need to eat every 3 hours. I need protein and carbs to build muscle. And that is where I was headed. Don't get me wrong, I did great with it. I did some powerlifting competitions. Life was good. I was getting my meals in, and it became like this religion. Like, what time is it? Oh, it's time for me to eat. I can't skip a meal. I gotta eat every 3 to 4 hours. I was doing it hardcore. I wasn't even really looking at ingredients. I was just looking at protein, carbs. I wasn't really counting calories because, the goal was to build muscle, and as long as I had my protein and my carbs in, I was good. It's super important to get the protein and the carbs combined together right after the workouts. Eat whatever carbohydrate you want, eat white bread, eat a donut, eat cold cereal, whatever your heart desired. It was like the time to just go to town on carbohydrate. And then I got influenced into the whole vegan plant-based thing. Yeah, I watched this YouTube thing called, what was it called? I can't remember, but it scarred me for life. I'm a huge animal person, wouldn't want to, animals to suffer, nothing like that. And I saw this documentary and I was just like, oh, I cannot eat an animal ever again. It depressed me for like a week. And so it was just like all about the plants. And I was thinking, but wait, I'm not into bodybuilding. How do I build without good, protein? I was like, all right, there is, plant-based protein, but it tastes like garbage. I bought this plant-based vegan bodybuilder how-to guide, and it was just like, wow, this really is doing a number on my digestive system and bloating. And it was like, it's all for a good cause. It's all to help me not hurt innocent mammals that have feelings, that get scared, that so I just did it. I did it for a good 3 to 4 years. Don't get me wrong, I won't claim to be vegan even for a second, because if you're on any kind of medication, prescription, whatever, those things are tested on animals. So I was like, yeah, I just do the plant-based thing. But then I was secretly probably ingesting proteins that tasted better, that had better quality ingredients in them, that probably had whey, which, dairy, blah, blah, blah. Throughout this time, I stayed relatively lean and built. So I would, go through, but I never really did that thing where you lose weight and then you gain the weight back kind of thing. I've never, I've always been big time focused on my health, on my weight, even, if you want to say on my body and how it looked. It's always interesting how certain people come into your life at different times for different reasons, whatever. So a certain special man came into my life and he just kind of would plant seeds here and there, and he still does it. It cracks me up. Just like, hey, maybe you should look into this. Maybe that's not okay, I'm kind of a hunter. I don't know how we're supposed to have a relationship if I go hunting and it's going to freak you out. And I was like, why would it? Anyways, that's beside the point. We did teach each other a lot. I introduced him to, different milks that maybe were better, but, then there were seed oils it's just like we just started teaching each other stuff. And he was starting to bring me to light the importance of animal proteins, and I was bringing, to him the importance of unprocessed foods, and we just started teaching each other. And then it caught me in a whole different rabbit hole. And there was also this woman at my gym. She's a personal trainer, and when I told her I was plant-based before, any of this, she's like, oh, honey, don't ever stop eating meat. And I was like, what does she know? I can't do that to the animals. And now, if I ever see her again, I'm gonna be like, you're right. She knew something. She knew something about animal-based protein that I wasn't gonna get from plants. You just don't get it from plants. In fact, when I was doing the whole plant-based thing, I had to get a multivitamin for vegans. to compensate for the nutrients that I was missing out from meat-based protein. I'm going down the carnivore diet rabbit hole, and how do I put this? My mind was blown. It still is blown. I can't stop. I can't stop learning. I can't stop doing research. I can't stop hearing other people's stories and how their lives have changed on so many different levels from just eating carnivore. Mind you, going into this, I don't have a lot of diseases. I don't have a lot of health conditions that I could test this out on. I've got, one medication for anxiety, which I'm off of the other ones, which was huge. But, I don't deal with, pre-diabetes. Like, there wasn't really anything to test it on except for the huge amount of supplements I was taking, like for energy in the morning, stuff like that, fat burners, blah, blah, all this stuff. And then I was like, wait, when I started eating carnivore, I slowly was like, well, I don't need that. I don't need that anymore. And all of a sudden, I'm going to work in a tire shop, busting tires, then going to the gym afterwards, eating less times per day, and my energy was a lot higher than it was out of any of these times. And now I'm in my mid-40s. What is going on? What is up with this carnivore diet? And this is an elimination diet that people do to eliminate all the other junk they've been consuming their entire lives and see if they can cure their whatever eczema, acne, anything like that, probably inflammation in their joints. Yeah, that's the big one why I was doing this too, because my hands were hurting, my joints were hurting. Granted, I work in a tire shop and I can't stop lifting weights to save my life, so there's things to consider there. One thing I've said for the longest time is that I want to live my life in a way so I'm not giving any money to pharmaceutical companies, or even doctors for that matter. Oh, don't get me started on doctors and their, oh, your cholesterol's high, we need to lower your cholesterol bullshit jargon. Running out of time here, but if you follow me, I am just making this video to let you know that if you are miserable in your life, if your health is shit, if you feel like you've tried everything, now granted, this is not, it is easy, it's simple actually. You eat, meat, eggs, water, salt, and you're set. But if you cannot, do that, then yeah, it's gonna be a difficult thing. This diet is about eliminating sugars, and I say sugars as in anything that is digested as sugar, like carbohydrate, like grains, But I'm making this to just let you know that I have been in different, different diets. I have done different things. I have tried different foods. I have, done the eating every so often. And now I'm finding that I can eat less throughout the day, which let's face it, if you're busy, who wants to spend time eating? If you're busy, who wants to plan 8 meals a day? I mean, it was getting in the way of things. It was, whatever. But I was also consuming a lot more processed foods than I was with carnivore. Don't get me wrong, I didn't turn into a hateful person. I don't go and buy my meats from places that use slaughterhouses. That's what I was thinking at the beginning of this slaughterhouse stuff. I look for local butchers. I look for locally, I look for, places where the animals had a decent life. In fact, one place, I think the woman said that her father treated the animals better than his own children. So, and the meat tastes amazing there. There are ways to eat carnivore and not be, eating slaughterhouse meat where the animals have been scared to death at the very end. Gross. Again, I didn't start this way of life in order to lose weight, because there really isn't a lot of fat, there's always fat, that I needed to lose. I did this because I wanted to see what it would do for my health. I did this because I wanted to see how it made me feel. I did this because I wanted to see how many supplements I really didn't need to be taking if I just ate meat, eggs, and water. Now, if you want to follow me, you'll see that, sometimes I add things here and there. I'm not hardcore, just that. So you don't have to be, but to do this as an elimination diet might change your life. It might change your friend's life. It might change your family's life. I urge you to look into it, to do your research on carnivore diet, so that you can live your healthiest, best lived life and just not give one penny to pharmaceutical companies ever again.